I'm Stephen A.
Hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show here with you over the airways of ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80, coming at you as I love to do every weekday. 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. It's always my pleasure to have my next guest on the line. NFL analyst and insider extraordinaire, does a phenomenal job for the family, for ESPN. He's right here with yours truly, the one and only Louis Riddick is on the phone with me right now. What's going on, man? How are you? How you doing?
Stephen A, what's up, man?
Always good to talk to you, man. First of all, what excited you most about what you saw last night? We saw DeShaun Watson. We saw Christian McCaffrey. We saw Cam Newton on the sidelines. What excited you most? What did you peel from it?
Well, I think two things. One, I just like how the young guys in this draft class overall, and I think you're seeing this more and more in the NFL because of how expectations are ramped up. The young guys are grabbing the bull by the horns, man, and taking advantage of these opportunities. And I think the quarterback position in particular may be in better shape than maybe we thought originally as far as how some of these young guys are adapting. You look at DeShaun last night, and obviously you saw the things that you thought you would see. You thought you would see tremendous athleticism in the pocket and tremendous pocket awareness. Some of the things that, quite honestly, some guys have really struggled with. RG3 is the first guy that comes to mind that struggled with pocket awareness, how to navigate the pocket, keep his eyes down the field, and still be a passer. DeShaun has that. It's just in him, and that's something that really you don't have to teach him. He just knows how to do it. You saw the athleticism outside the pocket. You saw arm strength. You saw him put some balls in some really good places. You saw some things he needed to work on as far as accuracy, 10, 15, well, let's just say 15-plus yards down the field, which he struggled with a little bit at Clemson, but he's going to get that. So I'm excited for him. It's just a matter of time. Christian McCaffrey, on the flip side, excited as heck for what he's going to do, not only for himself and for the running back position overall, but what he's going to do for the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton in particular. And once they get their full arsenal of people out on the football field and Cam's healthy and he can get some reps with these guys, Christian's going to show you he's not a guy to be taken lightly. He's not a guy to put in a box and say he's just a specialty player. This kid's legit. He'll run the ball from the backfield. He'll run the ball downhill between the tackles. He'll get outside on the perimeter and make you look stupid. And he's going to do it. And they got another guy right now who's kind of in the training room who isn't healthy right now named Curtis Samuel from Ohio State, who's faster than Christian, who will also make you look down. Carolina's not going to be a team to be messed with offensively this year once they get everybody going. So I'm excited about the young guns really stepping up so far.
Talking to Louis Riddick right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. We asked the question on First Take this morning, who do we anticipate will have the better rookie year, DeShaun Watson or Christian McCaffrey? I went the McCaffrey route, Louis, because I'm looking at him, his ability to run the football out of the backfield, his ability to pass catch and to make plays with his feet after the catch. Plus, you got Ron Rivera, who wants to sit up there and cut down on the running plays of Cam Newton. And no matter how much Cam Newton's going to complain, the fact is, Owner Richardson, along with Ron Rivera, they're going to do everything they can to protect their ultimate investment. And I think in the case of DeShaun Watson, Bill O'Brien and those boys are going to be relatively conservative because he's a rookie whenever he gets in as the starting quarterback this season. Am I wrong about anything I said there?
No, I'm 100% agreement, and I'll take it a step further and say this. The reason why, even more so that you're right about running back having the bigger impact right out of the gate is because running back is a much more instinctive position where guys are kind of born to be runners. You don't have to teach runners very much about running the ball. You don't have to teach playmakers very much about just making plays with the football, and Christian has that instinctively. And that's why you see runners come into the league all the time and take the league by storm, lead the league in rushing, lead the league in, maybe receptions out of the backfield, what have you, be Pro Bowlers, all pros as rookies because it's an instinctive position. That's not to say that DeShaun won't have an impact on the Texans, but we know that's a much more cerebral position that you need more time. You need more time to get going. And who knows, maybe over the course of his career he has the bigger impact, but out of the gate there's no doubt. There's no doubt that Christian and runners in general are going to have a much bigger impact. And you hit a great point, too, about Bill O'Brien. Look, Bill has kind of handcuffed his quarterbacks in the past because of the way the team is built. If you have a strong running game and good defense, teams have won Super Bowls doing that. You don't have to have a passer win it for you. And he won't let his he'll try to keep his passer from losing it for him. So with a young quarterback, of course he's going to try and protect him, and that's going to mute some of DeShaun's impact. But over the long haul, DeShaun got off to a real nice start last night.
Regardless of what you saw from Carolina last night, do you believe that anybody has enough to knock off Atlanta within this division? I know Tampa Bay's on to come up in the NFC South. You can never underestimate Drew Brees and that high-octane offense, even though I think the loss of Brandon Cooks is going to hurt them immensely. But I just look at Atlanta as being a juggernaut who know they missed a prime opportunity being up 25 points in the Super Bowl and losing. I consider them highly motivated and highly skilled. What do you see?
Yeah, I think Atlanta will be better this year than they were last year because of the fact that they have Dontari Poe now, who should, as long as his back holds up, be someone who really solidifies the middle. Tack McKinley, who they drafted out of UCLA, should help Vic Beasley as far as two edge rushers. Desmond Trufant is back now, who was their best cover corner. You think they couldn't have used him in the Super Bowl? Of course. They could have used him. He would have made a difference. But I will say this. The Packers are right there as far as being able to light up the scoreboard. And I know how you feel about Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
And here's the thing about the Packers, though. See, they've been drafting DBs. They drafted two more this year, first and second round. Okay, they drafted Kevin King from University of Washington, and then they drafted my man out of North Carolina State, the safety. If those guys, all these young guys that they've been drafting in the secondary, if they can eventually somehow now stay healthy and start making plays on the ball, which they couldn't do last year in any way, and Aaron had to outscore everybody, they've got a shot. Because on offense, now that they got Martellus Bennett, now that Ty Montgomery is solidified as a running back and they kind of know what they're going to do right from the get-go and not have to take all year long to figure out who they are, the Packers are going to be there. And, of course, you can never discount Seattle. You can never – Carolina, look, nobody thought Carolina was going to go 15-1 when they did. So it's fun. It's a fun conversation to have in the NFC. But you're right. I think Atlanta is the favorite, and they should be stronger. But some of their competition have gotten pretty good too.
How much are we sleeping on or underestimating Seattle, considering the fact that last year Russell Wilson was hurt for pretty much the whole year?
I think we're underestimating their championship spirit, period. And the fact that they are still a team that has a very definitive formula that they want to win with, which is run first, opportunistic play action passing second, let Russell do his thing. But on defense, that's where that's where they've got to go. That's where they've got to lead the charge. And that means that the Legion has to really retake kind of the lead on that team and set the tone throughout. And I think you can never discount guys who are competitors like that. And to speak directly to your point about Russell being injured last year, what he really needs is that offensive line to stop getting him crushed. He needs to have that offensive line, have it not look like every time he drops back to pass, it looks like it used to look like in my backyard, which was run around, make something happen, because he's running for his life. If they can do that and get back to some semblance of offense like they used to have when beast mode was there, which was very much so pound the ball, Russell take him up over the top, pound the ball, Russell, make one of those plays, and the defense just play lights out. They won Super Bowls with it and came within one pass play of winning another one. So they'll be there.
Louis Riddick, belying my emotional tendencies, I actually pride myself in being a very fair-minded individual. Except for when it comes to the Cowboys. I just can't stand their fans. I can't stand their fans, Louis. They get on my nerves, and I'm so happy that you were telling me that Atlanta should be the favorite. But I in fairness to this nauseating, delusional fan base that gets on my nerves, I know the Cowboys are good, but how much better, if at all, do you anticipate they will be this year compared to last year?
Well, I think offensively they will be better because – Dak Prescott is the truth. Dak Prescott is a pro. Dak Prescott is highly, highly, highly skilled. And he's just going to benefit from having a whole offseason to know that he's the man and now really start to fine-tune his game throughout the rest of his career. The offensive line is going to be legit. Zeke, notwithstanding anything that's going to happen to him from a suspension standpoint, you would assume he's going to come back as good as ever. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys for me is, one, the schedule is brutal, and two, the defense – who's going to rush the passer? And who is going to cover in the back end? They've got a whole gang of new people back there, save for Byron Jones, safety. And at the linebacker position, I know Sean Lee stayed healthy last year, and Sean Lee's my guy. Now, Sean Lee is a legit linebacker.
Yeah, but he's injury-prone.
Can he do it? That's right. Can he do it again? And is Jalen Smith actually going to be able to play? I hope to God he is. I hope he is as good as advertised as he was at Notre Dame. But that's a lot of ifs, man. A lot of ifs.
And what about the Giants?
A lot of other teams don't have that many ifs.
What about the if that is the New York Giants? I mean, picking up Brandon Marshall, thank goodness Sterling Shepard didn't get a season-ending injury. You still got Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah. You got Eli Manning. What about the New York Giants?
The only thing that scares me about the New York Giants is they don't run the ball. They can't run the ball, and they can't pass protect, and they have no left tackle. Now, they got skilled positions for days, and they will cut you 1,000 different ways as far as throwing the football. But their offensive line is suspect. The left tackle position, both tackle positions are suspect. And you know in the NFC there are some people who can get after the passer. And I'm just not a believer. I'm not a believer that you can win in the NFL at the highest level, obviously, without an offensive line that can actually lead the way. We saw it last year. We saw how offensive lines got people kicked right out of the tournament, as I like to say, once the heat was turned up. And I think that's what's going to happen to the Giants. Not to say that, look, their perimeter weapons are legit across the board, man. Evan Ingram, I think, is going to be an absolute freak. We talk about O.J. Howard in Tampa. Wait till you see Evan Ingram. The people in the SEC who I talk to, and I talk to some pretty high-powered people down to say this, when they play Ole Miss and Evan Ingram was on the field, they had no one who could deal with him. No one. And they got a legit defense. But they can't run the rock. And how many times we see Eli last year just taking the ball, drop back, have Russ in his face, and just throw the ball in the dirt because he's like, I'm not taking these hits.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Last question for you. Are the Jets going to be the worst team in football, or is there somebody else that's on your list?
Man, I hope not. I hope that they're not. But I will say this, knowing the people I know up there, they do like how the team is coming together as far as chemistry right now and how they're working.
They don't have a quarterback, Lewis.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I'm saying there are some things, though, about them that may mitigate them being the worst team, but they're going to be in contention for it because they just don't have the horse. The quarterback position, you're right, is bad.
Should they bring Colin Kaepernick to New York?
Should they? Yeah, they should. A lot of teams should have brought Colin Kaepernick in by now, at least for a look, at least. But that's a whole different story.
You're the man. Appreciate you, Lewis.
Right.
Thanks a lot. As always, buddy. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, Steve.
All right. The one and only Lewis Riddick right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio, 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. He's right. He's right on both counts. He said, hey, a lot of teams should bring Colin Kaepernick in, at least to take a look. But that's a whole different story. And that ain't for him to get into. That's my job. More to Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio in a minute.
Okay, Kevin, for the grand prize of $1 million. What color is the White House?
I know this.
5 seconds.
Oh, switching to Geico could save you a bunch of money on car insurance?
Okay. Judges? That's true, Kevin. They'll allow it. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Woo!
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Stephen A. Smith, y'all. When it comes to our cars, one thing is almost certain. Something at some time is going to break down. And if your vehicle warranty is expired, one big repair can break your bank. There are auto protection plans out there, of course, but only one stands alone. That's Toco Warranty. With Toco, you don't pay upfront fees for service you may never use. Toco makes protecting your car easy with their pay-as-you-go plan. Just pay a small amount each month and keep the protection for as long as you like. With Toco, there is no long-term contract, no upfront fees, and you can cancel at any time. So get peace of mind knowing you are protected with coverage plans on the engine, electrical, transmission, cooling system, drive axle, and more. Plus, enjoy the benefits of roadside assistance and paid rental car fees. Toco special concierge service guides you through the entire process from sales to claims to customer service, all under one roof. Don't risk being grounded by auto repairs you can't afford. See if you qualify for Toco at 800-211-2884. That's 800-211-2884. That's 800-211-2884. To the phones we go in just a minute. That's 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. Before I do that, though, did y'all hear about that CBS poll? Some CBS polls out there, rating, the most overrated coaches. Jim Harbaugh was on the list, Michigan. I don't agree with that, but at the same time, you got people who want to hate on him. He hasn't won a national championship. He gets a lot of hype and all of this other stuff. You see him on the airwaves all the time. So, all right, I got that. But here's where the blasphemy officially kicks in. Nick Saban is number 2 on the most overrated coaches list. Somebody's smoking something. 11 years at Alabama. Nick Saban, 119-19. And he overrated? If he overrated, the entire profession deserves to be jobless. Because who's better? Who? Who is this person? You know what Alabama was before Nick Saban arrived? We were still talking about Bear Bryant from the 60s and 70s. What y'all talking about? Oh, these people are crazy. Some people are just nuts. To the phones we go. JP in Brooklyn, talk to me. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, man? JP, are you there? JP, are you there? Bye, JP. Jay and Cali, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Stephen A? I just wanted to say a couple of things real quick.
Yes, sir.
One, when it comes to Zach Randolph, and I haven't read the report, but I know that being in California, it depends on how he had it packaged. It depends on how he had his money in his pocket. Mm-hmm. So let's say he had $2,000-$3,000 in his pocket. Mm-hmm. If he got 20s, so let's say he got 301 bundle. I don't want to call it a bundle. Let's say he got 301 fold, and then he got like 700 in another one, and then the money isn't all facing the same way. And then it depends on how he had the marijuana packaged. So when you put those two things together, they might not have wanted to arrest him, but to take his money, they're going to make him file forfeiture papers so he could get his money back.
Well, let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this to you. I appreciate the education. I'm not questioning any kind of science you dropping on me. What I'm addressing and what I'm attacking is if you don't literally witness somebody intending to sell, I have a problem with a charge being intent to sell.
Well,
that's my issue.
I totally understand that. And another thing is, at first I didn't hear you about your voting thing with Colin Kaepernick. I didn't agree with it, but you broke it down. And when you broke it down, I totally agree with you on where you're coming from. And I really, really disagree with you, Stephen A.
Yeah.
But when you broke down what you were saying, because you got to remember, there's a lot of people that don't know. I'm older than a lot of these kids are, and I don't really understand the magnitude of what people were going through back in the days. But when you have a face like Colin Kaepernick for what people are going through today, when you have his face up there, it's going to bring attention to some things that a lot of kids, a lot of people didn't know was going on. And when he says things like, I'm not voting or I don't vote, in the way that he said it, that's a real powerful message to the youth, to the people who can make a difference in this country. I don't mean to just switch topics like that, but I know you got to get to other callers. But I just wanted to say I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that he was a fool for opting out of his contract, and I think that he should give a little bit more statements if he's going to stand for a cause, because for right now, I don't agree with him. I tried to tell you last Friday, I feel like he is compromising his stands on what he's standing for.
He was all over the place, Jay. He want people like you, me, and everybody else to stand up for him. He ain't had no plan, and now he barely has a voice.
No plan is the word. I mean, the way that it is, I don't want to say anything because then for future people, I don't want them to opt in and cause havoc. But come on, man, you got Twitter, you got all of these outlets. You see how people are misinformed on what they think you're standing for, and the first thing you do.
Hey, Jay, I'm losing your signal. Your voice, your voice is cracking up. Jay, I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to close the segment on this note. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down with what I'm about to say to you? Are you sitting down, Jay? With all the noise Colin Kaepernick and his stance has made, the most noise over the last few weeks hasn't been the petitions, hasn't been the imminent protest. It's been his girlfriend putting out that tweet about Bashotti and Ray Lewis. And we wondering why he's still without a job. More of the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio. By the way, let me also say this, please. I'm going to remind y'all, America. I know a lot of you have already gotten a Zebra, and you're getting Happy Z's as a result. By the way, you're welcome. As for the rest of you, what's the holdup? There's too many of you snoring and being a nuisance to everybody around you. So you need to stop procrastinating and deal with this now. And that means getting a Zebra. Why do I know there are millions still snoring? Because I used to be one of you. It's just that simple. I know you're still snoring because Zebra gets reports every time I talk about their product on my radio show. They know you went to their website, Zebra.com. They know you clicked through all the 5-star testimonials and watched the video proving it works. They also know that you actually went through the process of putting a Zebra in your shopping cart. So do me a favor, please. Finish the process and get a Zebra already. Listen, people, your snoring's not going to stop until you get a Zebra. Don't care what it costs. Sleep is priceless. You would know this if you got a Zebra and read the message inside the box. I'm telling you to get a Zebra. Stop procrastinating. Go to Zebra.com right now. That's ZYPPAH.com. Remember, Zebra is easy to remember. You know why? Because it's Happy Z, spelled backwards. Back to your calls in a minute. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it.
Told y'all a little early in the show that I missed yesterday's show because I was in Las Vegas. I had to interview Floyd Money Mayweather for his upcoming fight against Conor McGregor, scheduled for August 26th. And in order to get back, catch a flight, get back in time, I had to skip radio yesterday, but I'm back today. But I wanted to play a couple of snippets from my interview with him. Wanted you to hear for yourself the voice of Floyd Money Mayweather. He's called into this radio show before, but I wanted you to hear him on this particular fight and some of the other issues coming up. This is just a snippet. I sat down with him for 45 minutes. You'll be seeing most of it the week of the fight, a couple of snippets of it prior to that, of course. Here's one of them you can listen to. Listen in. Stephen A. Smith, yours truly, with Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yes.
Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we getting ready to watch Floyd Money Mayweather in the ring against Conor McGregor August 26th?
Oh, man. That's what the world demanded. I put myself in the right position to make it happen. So I put myself in the right position to make it happen. It's all about chess. And it's not really about being on a chessboard anymore. It's about controlling the chessboard, and that's what I was able to do.
How did Floyd Money Mayweather control the chessboard with this particular fight?
Well, easy. I knew what to say. I knew when to say it. I knew what to post on social media, and I know some cool people in some cool places to make certain calls, to make this big event happen.
Floyd Mayweather is loving this because for once he has someone who's helping him promote a fight.
Absolutely.
Could you talk about that? How difficult life has been for you over the last few years because you felt like you had to do most of the promoting?
It was hard. And this guy, he stepped up to the plate. One thing about him, I could say, he stepped up to the plate, and he played a major role.
You think he meant it? Everything that he said about you?
I just didn't like when he called us monkeys. I think that was totally disrespect.
I didn't hear that. I know he said boy. I didn't hear monkeys.
He called us monkeys. And so I didn't like it. It didn't push a button to make me, jump all out my character and go crazy, but I didn't like it. But I'm strong, smart, patient, and come August 26th, we'll be the same person. Smart, strong, patient, and the same way he called us monkeys, we're going to see if he say that August 26th.
We see Conor McGregor, UFC, knockout artist.
Yes.
But someone who has never stepped in a boxing ring professionally.
He's still a warrior. He's still a fighter. He's still a warrior. He's still a fighter. And every time Conor McGregor has went out there in the UFC and he was victorious, he was standing up. Only time he took a L is when he was on the ground. But every time he stood up, he kicked ass.
And my man Max Kellerman swears there's no way on earth you'll even get touched in this fight. He predicted you won't even get touched. Is that where you are? Are you prepared for that, not to be touched?
This can't be a defensive fight.
Excuse me?
I got to go to him. I got to go to him.
Are you saying that you're going to go to Conor McGregor?
I got to go to
You're
him.
not going to back up. You're going to go to him.
I have to go to him.
Why?
I got to do what I got to do.
Why? If you didn't have to go to other fighters in order to beat them, why do you feel the need to do that in this fight?
Because I owe the public for the Pacquiao fight. Since they wasn't pleased with the Pacquiao fight, they're gonna be pleased with this fight right here.
Have you entertained the possibility of how disastrous this would be if a miracle happened and he actually beat you and you lost? Have you entertained that at all? Have you thought about it? Have you dreamed about it? Has there been nightmares about it, Floyd?
When a fight gets to the when you're fighting at this level, there's no loser. When you're fighting at this level, there's no loser. I mean, I ain't never known a man to make hundreds and hundreds of millions that's a loser. I'm gonna walk out that ring with my head high. I'm a fighter.
What about your hand? Is your hand gonna be raised high?
I'm gonna walk out the ring happy. Losing is never in my mind. I just say things can happen.
And if it happened and Floyd Mayweather walked out with a stain on his record, it wouldn't affect you. You'd be all right.
My mother and my children still gonna love me the same way. I'm still gonna have the same lavish lifestyle. Life gonna go on. They're gonna move on to the next.
That was Floyd Money Mayweather with George Truly. I don't want to hear that last comment from him. I don't believe he's entertaining losing at all. I think he recognized that if he lost this fight, it'd be the biggest upset in boxing history because one of the greatest ever will be in the ring with somebody who's never boxed professionally in their life. And suddenly you're going to sit up there and you're going to beat Floyd Money Mayweather? That would be disastrous for Floyd Mayweather as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I don't believe him when he says that. That is just, I can take it. Life will go on. It'll be all right. You know? By the way, sticking to this particular subject, I'm not going to get into too many details. If I have to in the future, I will. But I'm going to say this. I was on a radio station yesterday, and the host, going to remain nameless because I don't want to get personal, unless I have to, but I really, really don't. I was being interviewed, and I thought I was being interviewed by Tom Brady. And the next thing you know, not only does the man slide in the comment of, Floyd Mayweather, which is understandable because I did just go interview the man and it was on SportsCenter. But he brought up how I'm yucking around with Floyd Mayweather and he's a domestic abuser and he abused women and how can I do that? I get tired of those kind of questions. I'm a sports reporter. I'm a journalist. There are a lot of unsavory characters that get interviewed. Mike Tyson was convicted of rape, and I've seen him laughing on Conan O'Brien. Nobody brings that up. He's got his own show. He had his own show on Broadway. Time and time again, we see unsavory characters or people with checkered past. They get interviewed. And no one says anything. And this particular person came at me as if I was condoning domestic violence, which I have, nor would I ever do. I didn't mind the questions about Floyd Mayweather. But you don't preface a question by accusing me of condoning domestic violence. I would never do that to somebody. It's irresponsible as far as I'm concerned. But I'll leave it at that. Unless I have to revisit it, which I doubt I will. But it's just amazing to me that folks forget this stuff. Things happen 10 years ago. What am I supposed to do? Ask him about it every time I see him? He went to jail. He did his time. And if he did it again, he should be banned from the sport. And he should have been banned at the time it happened. But once it's over, it's over. Has he broken the law since? Has it happened since? I ain't hanging out having dinner, having breakfast and hanging out and partying. No, I'm doing my job. And then I go home. Others should try that sometimes. To the phones we go. Mustafa, you're live with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. What's up, Mustafa? How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. I hope your family's staying strong. Don't listen to what these people say, man. You know you do your job to the best of your ability. That's all you can do, Who cares?
No, I just want to make sure I got radio as my platform. I'm just going to make sure my position is clear, and then you move on. But go ahead.
Yeah, buddy. So anyways, I'm here to talk boxing with you today. I listened a few days ago. You were talking to Bob Arum. I think it was a few days ago or last week. Mm-hmm. And what happened he said that Yes. And he was saying that Lomachenko is the best fighter. Yeah, was the best fighter since Muhammad Ali. And I was like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. I gotta look up this guy because I never heard of him. Because I'm in North America. Most people here don't know about him. So I looked him up. I watched him on Saturday, and he tore this guy up, man. And his footwork, his speed, the amazing balance between an offensive fighter and a defensive fighter. He's right in front of his opponent, and his opponent can't even touch him once. I mean, that was incredible, man. But the only criticism against him is he only had 8 or 9 professional fights, right?
But his amateur record was 396-1.
That's still incredible. 396-1. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, This guy is up and coming.
He's the star of the division. This kid, Gervonta Davis, that's in Floyd Money Mayweather's camp, I interviewed him, too. He's 18-0 with 17 KOs. The kid is special. But is he ready for Lomachenko? It remains to be seen. But I like the kid.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm more looking forward to this fight on September 16th. Who you got if you had to pick?
I'm going with Triple G all day. Triple G all day. But we'll get into that after the Mayweather Conor McGregor fight, but I'm going with Triple G to beat Canelo. I got to run, Mustafa. I appreciate the call. 866-729-ESPN. Your calls to close out the show in a minute with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Phones we go before we get on out of here. Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. Real quick, make your comments, and I got to go. Sergio in the Bronx, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about Colin Kaepernick.
Go ahead.
So I agree with you on most of your stances, but I know a lot of times you like to kind of dog him out on the voting thing. And when it comes to the voting, he made his stance clear as far as his stance was against systemic oppression, so he didn't want to vote for lesser evil, and another thing is you always get on him about the voting, which is, all right, that's I don't hardly hear you talk about his benevolence. He does a lot of charity.
But you know what, Sergio, that's fair. That's fair. Perhaps I need to talk more about that. That's fair on your part. What I will say to you is that I will never apologize, nor will I ever relent on the voting issue, because if you want to be somebody that's a conduit of change, the number one instrument of change in this country, other than money itself, is the ability to exercise your right to vote. And if you don't vote, that's fine. That's your personal business. But to announce to the world that you don't vote when you know you're inspiring young minds and you want them to facilitate change, if they never vote, how can things get done? Call me back tomorrow when we have more time so I can give you the time and the respect that you deserve for the position that you took, Sergio. And I thank you for the call. Richard, you're live with Stephen A. Real quick. Go ahead.
Hey, Stephen. So Fidel Castro's shirt had Malcolm X, and it was a salute to Malcolm X being open-minded to meeting Fidel Castro. It was never about Fidel Castro or him trying to prove a point to the Miami Dolphins.
Stop right there.
Miami in general.
Stop right there. Doesn't matter. You know why, Richard? Because that's not how the people of Cuban descent, particularly in the city of Miami, took it. That's the issue. You're talking about the message. I'm talking about how it was interpreted and by whom. I hate to break it down to you like that because I understand the truth is very important. But sometimes perception usurps that. And in the case of Colin Kaepernick, he slipped on that one. Your signal's bad, Richard. Are you in a cell phone area? I can't hear you. Call back tomorrow. Tommy, you're live with Stephen A. Real quick. Go ahead, Tommy.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, you. How's everything going?
I know, I love my Stephen A. Love, so I was getting on these lines today.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Yes, I know it's quick. The two things that I want to point out is you did great with that. Excellent, actually. You were the knockout in that ring interviewing Floyd Mayweather. I think you asked great questions, and you can't ask him everything every time. I don't know why people expect that.
Well, what they want me to do is they want me to denigrate him about the whole domestic violence issue and what have you. First of all, he went to jail. Secondly, I interviewed him when he got out of jail. Secondly, privately and publicly, I thought I held him accountable in that regard. But at the same time, he's also in my face on several occasions in the past, categorically and emphatically denying that there was any truth to what he was charged for and ultimately he pled to. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Berate him and berate him every time?
I don't think it needs to be revisited every time.
What am I supposed to do?
To him.
Exactly.
And to sum that up, and I love that contrast of that black cuff you had on that shirt.
Yes.
That was really remarkable. And secondly, the picture for Colin that his girlfriend posted,
Colin Kaepernick,
I really don't think that represented standing by your man. That was not standing by him, in front of him, in back of him, or beside him. It was wrong.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it helped at all.
Tommy, I've got to get on out of here, but I'd like to say before you leave that your brilliance continues to amaze me.
And you just amaze me. And I can deal with just snoring any day or night.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me get off the air. I gotta watch myself. Y'all. 866-729-ESPN. We're about to get on out of here for the day. Thank you all for your listening in, tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't have any road trips or anything like that that's gonna impede my schedule and prevent me from being on the air. So I will be back here in 22 hours. Remember what I told you about CP3? And when he passed up the $200+ million for the Clippers, betting on himself in Houston next season, how Carmelo and him trying to get something going so they could both get paid. I don't know if that's going to work. That, more Kaepernick, more NFL stuff, NFL preseason weekend tipping off. We know what time it is after Houston and Carolina won it last night. I'll be back with you in 22 hours. Until then, peace and love.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.